Hello everyone, thank you for inviting me to present on this topic, renewable and compostable films for tea and coffee. My name is Amaia Cowan. I have worked for the last 22 years in the flexible packaging industry. Many of these years in the plastics industry. Today, I am the Business Development Manager for Futamura Cellulose Films, a producer of renewable and compostable films under the brand of NatureFlex. Brought up in France, I am a coffee and herbal tea lover myself. I spent many hours collecting chamomile in the Pyrenees in my youth. Despite living in the UK for many years, I cannot say that I've got used to the British strong black tea. Subtle flavors it is for me. And as they come, no sugar and certainly no milk. This cleared, it is a real pleasure for me to present on sustainable solutions for packing tea and coffee. Sustainable and ethical sourcing has been high on the agenda for tea and coffee producers for many years now. I have highlighted a number of initiatives and certifications above, but I realize that this is certainly not an exhaustive list, and many other logos and initiatives could easily be added. While social responsibility and driving responsible sourcing practices has been a key priority for the industry overall, environmental sustainability and working towards a circular economy is now also a relevant target. This pretty schematic from the British Coffee Association clearly shows that. In the past few years, many changes have been happening in the industry with regards to its packaging. Compostable structures, for one, are being increasingly adopted. Certainly WRAP and the UK Plastic Pact were the first to publish a guidance on the best practice use of compostable. They advocate the use of compostables in applications which are difficult to recycle, for instance, food-contaminated applications. Tea bags and coffee pods that contain a large amount of product are one of the products highlighted as ideal for compostable primary packaging. The concept being that the whole package could then be composted and have a positive end of life, maximizing the end of life of the tea leaves and the coffee powder. Undoubtedly, tea companies have either already moved or actively phasing into compostable tea bags by replacing the traditional polypropylene that was included into the standard tea bag paper. Companies such as PG Tips are actively communicating in this area, and the change is completed in the recent times. Take your plant-based tea bag out of your copper, pop it into your food waste bin, it biodegrades into compost. Back to nature. Excellent example of circular economy. So, ethical sustainable sourcing, coffee pods and tea bags that are moving into compostable structures so they can be composted at the end of life. What's next? What other packaging needs looked at? If we look at tea in a first time, it is fair to say that the carton used are often certified FSC or PEFC, and they have a viable recycling end of life. The only element left is a plastic in the box of a wrap, the floor wrap in a plastic bag, or the tea sachet themselves. This is where Futamura can provide a solution and ensure that the whole offering, product and packaging, is fully plant-based and the filmic element that is difficult to collect and recycle can be composted with the tea bags. We can provide clear film to go over the box, clear, metallized or white film for the floor wrap in the box, or sachet material to be printed by our converter partners. If we now look at coffee and its packaging, complex laminates are frequently used to ensure the adequate protection of the product. These structures are known to be difficult to mechanically recycle and can be replaced with fully compostable structures. Bags, little stick packs, and now even coffee capsules are possible in compostable constructions. From single-ply options in tea to more complex structures in coffee, all formats are possible today. There are many laminate structures which have been identified as difficult to recycle, since they mix different plastics, perhaps aluminium, and even paper. Today, it is often possible to get similar functionality by putting together different compostable films. The right schematic shows how you may replace a triplex, including an outer layer of polyester, for example, a barrier middle layer of metallized polyester or aluminium, and an inner layer of polyethylene. In the biolaminate world, the outer layer may be replaced with paper, compostable paper, which has a very nice and natural touch to it, a middle barrier compostable films, and an inner biosealant. These type of structures are now being used in the market and certified home compostable and or industrial compostable with the right choice of inks and adhesives. Our materials generally get involved in the outer or middle layers. It is therefore a pleasure for us to introduce our NatureFlex films on behalf of our company Futamura. NatureFlex is our range of renewable and compostable films designed to meet the growing demand for environmentally responsible packaging. The NatureFlex life cycle begins with a renewable raw material, wood pulp sourced from sustainably managed plantations. The bales of wood pulp that you can see at 2 o'clock are converted into viscose, a cellulose solution. The liquid viscose then goes through casting, where it is regenerated into a solid cellulose film, as you can see at 4 o'clock. Next, functional coatings are applied before the film is finally slit to customer size. NatureFlex is used in a wide range of applications, protecting our customers' products. After use, it can then go for composting, and the cycle can start again. A perfect fit for the circular economy. So why consider NatureFlex films for tea and coffee? First of all, the films present a renewable and compostable alternative. Some of these have been used in the industry for many years. They have a proven record and supply history, particularly in the tea industry. The films are also compatible with other biomaterials to allow for all sorts of different structures and options. But more to the point, in my opinion, they are a perfect fit for the tea and coffee industry, supporting the changes that are already happening to make tea bags and coffee pods compostable, ensuring that it is a clear message to the consumer about end of life. Plant-based packaging for plant-based products. With regards to the question of certification, Futamura is committed to backing up all of the NatureFlex claims with independent testing and certification, wherever this is relevant and possible. This slide is a very visual representation of the different accreditations for our NatureFlex films. Industrial composting, Europe and US, home composting, Europe and Australian, global forestry management for renewable raw materials, and the Japan biomass mark. With regards to key attributes for tea, NatureFlex films are widely used in the tea industry. Their sustainability credentials fit with the brand ethos. As a transparent paper, the films are anti-static, which means that they produce eye-catching packs without attracting any tea fines. Thanks to these anti-static characteristics, they also behave efficiently on the machines, whether these are new or old. With their excellent barrier to moisture, gases and aromas, they are the ideal product to protect delicate flavors and ensure that there is no cross-contamination, particularly with infusions and herbal teas in mind. The fragile chamomile flavor can be protected from the more aggressive mint one, for instance, for the perfect aroma and infusion every time. In coffee, our sustainable films are also well aligned to the brand ethos. Due to the nature and requirement of the product, laminate structures are typically used and our films are compatible with other biomaterials for that purpose. There are different characteristics of the film that can be seen as a real benefit. For instance, the ease of puncture and tear propagation of our films can positively assist the opening of small sachets that are notoriously known to be difficult to open. And once again, the excellent barrier to moisture, gases, and aromas, especially in a laminate form, are key to protect the delicate flavors. There are many customers who use our films. Some openly mention our brand in their communications. Here are some examples. One of the companies that have adopted our NatureFlex films is T-Pigs. The delicate teas are wrapped in a NatureFlex transparent flow wrap, then inserted into an FSC certified cardboard. T-Pigs regularly communicate with their customer base on their adoption of NatureFlex. You can see enclosed some of their communications. In this specific consumer communication, the brand covers the different elements of their packaging, what they're made from, and their end-of-life options. They also take a leading role in informing how to show that the film is indeed NatureFlex, as opposed to a conventional plastic. The good old scrunch test can show that cellulosic film is used. Great job, T-Pigs! There are many other brands that proudly communicate of using our films. Here are some additional ones. Left Top and Corner, boutique company, also developing further on their website on how to differentiate their packaging to conventional plastics, as you can see in the picture at the right top corner. Bottom left, this is Joe's Tea Company, that also very visually communicates on using NatureFlex. And bottom right, Camellios with their NatureFlex inner bags. And I could name many other clients that communicate about using our films. A few here for illustration. From the left top corner and clockwise, Positivity with their bright teas. Hampstead Tea next. We Are Tea. Bird and Blend Tea. Good and Proper Tea. Nemi and Etiquette. When it comes to tea sashes, I love the graphics from our client Samova. A very visual image on how the tea bags and the actual sachets, including NatureFlex, are now compostable. They have a lovely video that I would encourage all to watch, showing how they decided to adopt NatureFlex and what this means to them. Moving on to coffee. There are less applications in this market sector that use film in a single ply. Saying this, I can mention at least two companies that use our NatureFlex for their coffee beans and communicate in this area. The first one is a Little Coffee Roastery, and the second, Steampunk Coffee. Coffee is a market where lamination and more complex structures are dominant due to the high barrier requirement of the product. Whilst our films are used by many brands, it is less likely that they may communicate on their use, since the film is only part of the solution. Saying this, there has been quite a few press releases on the subject, and it is with great pleasure that I can show, without breaking confidences, some of the brands that use or have used our films. Again, from the top left-hand corner, Macula Coffee, I hope I pronounced that right, and it's Ecoverde Coffee brand, Rogers Family Company, with a mother structure produced by Ultraflex, Café Molinari Duplex Bag produced by Goglio. Top right corner and actually bottom left corner are both home compostable triplex structures produced by Parkside for Perco and the Coffee Factory. And the last two are example structures from Auckland Coffee Works and Bird and Wild. Our films are also involved in coffee capsule structures, an increasing trend in the market. Structures involved in these applications are complex. For any information in this area, please get in touch so we can put you in contact with our more knowledgeable converter partners. In summary, renewable and compostable films are indeed a solution for the tea and coffee industry. Please contact us with your own project. It is always a pleasure to discuss specific products, projects, and their requirements. Thanks for listening to me.